From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One ball, corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
And Corey Clark.
Let's go! Let us go, everybody. Join us. Welcome on in to this live edition of Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. And since we are live, our great friends over at vitaminenergy.com. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, cptallybar.com, the website. But you can always hit the QR code wherever it is on your screen. It'll take you right to the website. You're missing out on bingo probably if you're watching this live. I mean, you know, there's decisions to be made in life. Watching us over going to bingo at CP, don't know if that's the right play, but we appreciate you being here. But head over to CP, go watch the Florida-Utah game after we're done. Go watch the Florida State LSU game, all the other games in between if you won't be in Orlando hanging out with us. We will be at Hooch on Saturday, 4 to 5 o'clock, a meet and greet. We'll shake hands. We'll let pillars either add their name or add a tomahawk to the pillar. Then at 5 to 6 o'clock, Jeff Cameron, Irish O'Fell, and that guy over there, they'll be going live, letting you know how things have been looking at Florida State practice and preseason camp. So wallstreetorlando.com, get your tickets beforehand, save the lines or whatever. It's a QR code you get on your phone. You'll be all good to go. And if you have to wait in line, just take some Vitamin Energy, shake it and take it. vitaminenergy.com, promo code Warchant BOGO, Warchant BOGO, buy one, get one free. We'll be giving these out for free at Hooch. Not a lot of them, though. You got to, I mean, this is good stuff. Just can't be just willy-nilly giving it away, right?
Just the taste, just the sample to see that you like it.
That's a little bit. So we'll have shots to give out. I got some T-shirts and some hats, some other stuff, Vitamin Energy related we'll be giving out. So come out to Hooch, hang out with us. Corey, you're already in Orlando. How is it? Thanks for running.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I wish I could have set up where you could see the lazy river at my hotel. It's pretty awesome. But it's just down there, folks. It's just right out there. So that's it. That's exciting. Yeah, I got here about 30 minutes ago, just in time.
Perfect. We were going to do it at 6. Corey's like, how about 6:30 just to be on the right safe side?
Yeah, that worked out perfectly. It worked out perfectly. We made it. I told Aslan before the show on the turnpike, which is always exciting. First time in my life I've seen one of those electronic signs where it'll say like lane blocked, seek alternate route, stuff like that. It said, be on the lookout for wrong way motorist. So somebody was driving down the turnpike in the wrong direction. So that's kind of crazy. Didn't see it though. Didn't see the remnants of it either. So, but that's pretty scary and weird.
Also, listen to our guy, Don Rorick down there. Bend that like button. I like it. Bend it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Tap it, bend it, smash it, whatever. Hit the like. We certainly would appreciate it. And don't forget, warchant.com kickoff special is running out of time. 50% off for first-time subscribers. If speaking about wanting to try a sample, come on. 50% off for an entire year. As the Noles get ready to kick things off, come on the Warchant. No promo code. Just go to the website. First time sign up. You'll get it done. Corey, all right, that's all well and good. What would have been well and good is if I didn't have to go to Florida State's practice this week. It would have been good if I could just ended it off on the note of whatever happened on Tuesday and just to run off in the sunset to Orlando feeling good. Did not like practice at all today.
Oh, okay.
Did not like it at all. That's the first time, I don't know, maybe since that practice going into NC State last year where I'm just like, ew. Like there was more I didn't like than what I did like. So, I mean, I'm not getting the specifics on. I just felt like, we saw some drop passes early on in period 3. I mean, period 3, I put a lot of stock into that one, Corey. That's the first 11 on 11 of the day. It's tempo-based. It's scenario-based. And my gosh, I mean, they went 3 and out. And that's not what you want to see out of your offense. Not panicking, but maybe that was just the football gods telling me to chill out on my overconfidence that some people believe I have when it comes to this LSU opener. What do you think about practice on Thursday?
That was fine. I mean, Norvell said this much, that he wasn't real happy. He said he liked the way they responded. But no, the offense wasn't good early on at all. Like the defense dominated. But again, I guess what I would say to that is, do you have any doubts? Look, there's the season openers are always funky and weird. So maybe they don't score a ton of points for them in the season opener. But you don't have any doubts about this offense, right? Like, it's going to be really good. The doubts are about the other side of the ball. So them looking like that's the beauty of practicing against yourself. There's a plus and a minus to every play. Like, Johnny drops a pass, and that was said a few times on more than that on Thursday. But the next pass, Renardo Green rips it away from him. And Cypress, I thought, had a really good day. So those are good things. I mean, there are positives that come with the negatives because you know what Johnny's going to give you. He needs to catch the ball better than he did on Thursday, but he will, and he's also going to drop a couple. It's just that's what we're going to deal with, folks. So get used to it. But I thought the DBs played really well. I thought the defense as a whole played well, which is good to see. And there were still two plays, Aslan. One in one-on-ones and one on when they had the ball at the 3 in the goal line, where, again, you're just reminded that you have Keon Coleman and they don't. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to have in your holster, man. Cypress had incredible coverage. My man does a twisting, whirling dervish catch over him and lands with his feet inbound somehow. And then on that play where Travis rolls around, he still catches that in the end zone 5 minutes later. Just things that were guarded perfectly, and he still makes the catch. So it's good to have dudes like that.
I don't know. Do you think that goal line? So they do one play before I think they ultimately go into the IPF and finish off practice where they put the ball usually on the 3-yard line, and it's just one play. It's all or nothing. It's like a 4th and goal play from the 3-yard line. They do it. They do it every single day when the season starts. On Tuesday, they didn't get it. Today, man, Jordan had all kinds of time, and he did it because he's gifted and he can make it out himself. I just don't know if I had to kind of give it to him, but at the same time, I'm like, man, that wasn't the best way to try to punctuate a kind of rough first half they had of the practice. But again, I'm not panicking. It's one day out of it all, but I guess, it's just I need to learn that Jordan's probably not getting sacked in those situations to let that play right out. That's what would have happened in a game.
Well, I mean, yeah, he scrambled out and made a play. That's kind of what he does. And so, yeah, that didn't seem like there are some times where AJ Duffy holds on to the ball for like 11 seconds and 7-on-7 and then completes a pass. It's like, well, that's not realistic. That's not what's going to happen. But that was a realistic play. He got pressured. He rolled to his right because he's fast and hard to even touch, and made a nice throw. And Keon Coleman made a great catch because that's what he does. I think the offense was okay after the first part of practice, but it wasn't great. But it's a practice. We're talking about practice, Aslan.
We are.
The game's Sunday. It'll be fun to not talk about practice for a while.
Yeah. Shout out to our guy, Ralph. Apparently he's here in Tallahassee. He says, aloha, Warchant Ohana. How's it? Sitting in CP, eating a prime rib sandwich and a side of potato salad.
Nice. Ralph, you're in 20 minutes. Bingo starts, my man. Go get you some cards and play some bingo. You might win $250.
All right, let's get on with this. Shout out to our guy Josiah back there helping screen some questions, popping them up with us. So let's go to Michael West. Jumping right into it. Looking smooth, by the way, Michael West. Nice avatar. Who is going to be the player of the game? Quarterback, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a good guess. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities on both sides of the ball, right? Like there's like 8 or 10 like star players in this game. It's cool. It's cool to be a part of. It's cool to be able to watch your team have stars, to play against other teams that have stars in a primetime game. I mean, look, if you're making me pick someone, which Michael you are, I would say the quarterback. Yeah, Jordan Travis.
Tally 850. How many game changers would you say FSU has on both sides of the football?
So offense, you got quarterback, 2 receivers, Trey Benson, Jaheim Bell. By the way, Bell made a crazy catch today too. What was I wrote about it in the observations. I'm not giving away the farm here, folks, but I'll give you a quick rundown. It's against the scout team, so you always have to take that with a grain of salt. He's not being guarded by one of the best players on the team. But it's a ball that it's kind of behind him, put it in a not bad spot, but kind of behind him. He's running full speed, kind of goes over the kid's helmet to catch it, and then keeps running almost at the same exact speed. Like doesn't really slow down. It's just different kind of stuff that you're not used to from tight ends around here or pretty much anywhere else. It was a pretty special play. So those 5 on offense for sure. I think Destin Hill has a chance. At some point this season to be called that. And then on defense, Verse and Fisk and Lovett.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Payton might have something to say about that, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah. I think,
8
I
guys.
think
That's
those
not
3
bad.
guys for sure
Yeah.
um, can change games. Like if you just can't block Braden Fisk, you're in a world of hurt. Like if you might not be able to, and you're going to have to try to block one of them one-on-one, Lovett or Fisk. And meanwhile, you got the freak on the outside where number 5 that's you're gonna have to double team. So yeah, man, though I think all 3 of those guys can change the game.
Now, shout out to Anthony Sturidi. Finally caught a live show live.
Mm.
You guys are the best.
You get to see what we look like.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're watching them tape delay, you still get to see what we look like.
Shout out to K-Hop, a.k.a. Kendrick Hopkins.
Dollar bills, y'all.
$1.99 getting us started. Excited to see everyone again like New Orleans. Bigger venue this time around, though, right, Corey? Bigger venue.
I think it's a block party, so that you think that means it's a whole block of people, and it should be a ton of Florida State fans. So even if you can't get into hooches necessarily because it's crowded or too crowded or you don't want to be around that much, just walking up and down the streets, hanging out with Florida State fans should be a lot of fun.
How about Octavio Cedeno? Can our defense really limit LSU? I'm not worried about scoring. I'm worried about them scoring. Thoughts?
Well, they can limit them. They're not going to stop them. So limit to what? Mid-20s? I think that's possible. I think you could hold them to 30. And I think if you hold them to 30, you got a real good chance of winning the game.
In that same vein, Fatal Jedi 2672. Question that immediately became important. Can our secondary cover our own receivers consistently, and would LSU be able to do the same? No and no.
The DBs compete really well, and that's not like everybody gets a trophy. I'm just trying to pat them on the head, like they're competing. They make plays. It's usually 50-50 when it comes down to the overall receivers and the DBs and the one-on-ones and the 7-on-7 scenarios. The problem is, Keon and Johnny are really hard. Destin Hill and with a lot of space is really hard to cover. So no, they don't. They don't consistently cover Florida State's receivers, not the ones that are going to be playing. But I don't think LSU will either because these guys are really good. These guys are all NFL guys. Apparently, Kuiper has Keon Coleman as the number 14 overall pick in the mock draft in 2024, and he might be your number 2. So again, they're hard. That's a hard ask, man. But the beauty of it is, and I'll be writing about it. It'll be on the site tomorrow at some point. When you go up against those guys every day, it does get you prepared for Malik Neighbors. Like Neighbors is good and Neighbors going to make plays, but he's not. If he's a better than Keon Coleman, it's by a smidge. Like you've seen Malik Neighbors-esque football all August, and you've handled yourself pretty well. So the LSU receivers shouldn't scare the FSU DBs at all because they've had to deal with what they've had to deal with for the last month.
Any concerns about punt returns, Corey? Derek Neal wonders.
Yep. Look, Keon is much more natural than Toafili was. And I think Keon will do a decent job, I guess, but he hasn't been automatic the last few practices. There have been a few bobbles here and there that I just you worry about. But hey, get him to punt. Give him to punt, and you'll cross that bridge when you get there. But I'm not as if Micah Pittman was still here, you'd be like, no worries at all. That guy caught everything. Now, Keon might do the same exact thing. He just hasn't proven it yet in the game. There's some concern there for sure.
So I'm going back and archiving all the video that I filmed this preseason so that I can have it organized and use it for the Warchant report, things like that. And, man, I have video of Edwin Joseph trying to return punts, Lawrence Toafili, Vandrevius Jacobs, Azarie Thomas, Keon Coleman. I mean, like they had like all hands on deck trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Keon, and if anything goes awry, you're going to be upset. Like, trust us on this one. He's looked the best out of that bunch the entire preseason, and I agree, man. I really just hope it's like, man, just set your heels on that 10-yard line and just wave your hand in the air and call for fair catch. And if it goes over your head, let it go over your head. Otherwise, just catch the ball. Like the simplest of tasks. That's all we need out of you, Keon. At least on special teams. Do all your whirly dervish catches that Corey talked about earlier.
With the offense, you're right.
Yeah. Nole fan 1893. Over under Jordan Travis, 5 total touchdowns Sunday.
People are excited. I like it. I'm going to say under, but hey, I think Florida State will score probably 5. It maybe he has a hand in all of them. Who knows? But he, today wasn't his best day, but he's still been really good throughout fall camp. And, he's going to be almost without question, right? The best quarterback LSU faces all season.
Yeah.
Maybe whoever Alabama starter is ends up being really good, but I don't think it's gonna be Jordan Travis. So this will be the best quarterback they face.
Eric Angel, man, have we already started drinking 56-17? There's some huge numbers people are throwing out there.
Keep in mind, folks, it's a lot of points I'm seeing, a lot of points, and I like it. Yeah. I like the fact that you're confident they're going to win, but it will be a few less plays. So it's going to be harder to score in the 50s, especially against a team like LSU. That means you have to score basically every time you get the ball.
Jeremy Ivan says, thanks for getting me through this offseason. Pumped to see you all in Orlando. Corey, careful giving out chest bumps. We know you've put on some muscle.
A lot of muscle. Y'all want to see? I'm just kidding.
What is that?
Yeah, I won't hurt anybody. I won't hurt anybody at the live event.
Is it playoff when we get to see you shirtless doing a show, or is it national championship?
I've made a lot of promises apparently through this show and headlines, and I'm not sure what I've actually said. I think I said that you and I would do the live show if they're 12-0 going into the ACC championship game. Okay. But I don't know that anybody really wants to see that. How about we wear tank tops or something?
I've got vitamin
or halter tops. I got some vitamin energy like halter tops that expose our midriffs. Okay. We could wear something like that.
A little Zeke Elliott action.
Okay. Yeah.
Trenton Smith, do y'all think Trey Benson gets a Dalvin Cook sort of touchdown, bobbing and weaving for a 50-yarder?
You know what's interesting about Benson's year last year, as good as it was, and it was very good, he didn't have, I think his longest run was like 38, 39 yards. Like he didn't have a home run last year running the ball. I think he had one against Miami that was like 40 yards. Right, now he had the 100-yard kick return that we all remember. But I don't think he had I don't think he had a 40-yard run last year. If he did, it was in the low 40s. That's an element of his game that wasn't really like he had a lot of first down runs, a ton of them, and a lot of 20-yard runs, just no 60-yard runs. And he's fast enough to do it, man. He's got top end speed. So maybe we get one of those, because that's another thing, man. Trey Benson wasn't good against LSU. He ran kind of, I don't want to say soft, but tentative in the few carries he got in that game. He was not ready for that game. And then I can't remember if Trayshawn got hurt against Louisville or if it was just his time to be in the game, but he turned that corner against Louisville in the fourth quarter and then became a different player. So it'll be interesting to see him kind of show LSU what they didn't see last year. People talk about, LSU not really having Harold Perkins last year. Well, Florida State didn't have Trey Benson either. That wasn't the Trey Benson that became the guy you saw at the end of the season.
Long of 45 from our guy last year, and it was against the Gators.
Oh, okay. All right. Good job, Aslan. Well done. Ask me some about the 87 Florida State-Miami game. I remember that.
He had a 42-yarder against Miami, though.
Oh, okay. All right. So he had 2 40-yarders, but neither one of those were touchdowns, right?
I don't think so.
I think his longest touchdown run might have been 30 yards or something. He didn't have any huge home runs. That I think he'll have a few of those this year.
It might not be bobbing and weaving, but he might bust through the hole, make one guy miss, and then proceed.
Yeah, he's not a bobber and weaver, is he? He's kind of like he sees when he's running his best, he sees a hole and runs through. You come off and he just knocks you down and keeps going.
904 _ Nole. Let's go, man. $10, man. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Long live Wake Up Warchant.
Yeah, amen.
That's right. Am I crazy thinking Noles win by 2 or more scores on Sunday?
No, I don't think you're crazy. I'm not predicting
Let's
it.
not talk about that. I mean, just don't talk about it out loud, though.
It's like they're capable of it, though, right? They'd have to play well, clearly, and they'd have to win the turnover battle. But there is a pathway to that. I guess there's a pathway to the same thing for them. Like if Florida State has some uncharacteristic turnovers, or if Jordan's just not off a little bit, or there's some drops and some breakdowns, that's the beauty of this game, in my opinion, is there's really no way to predict it. They're both good teams. It's the season opener. You don't really know what you have, other than they're both going to be really good. So if you play well and jump on them early, and maybe get Jane Daniels out of sorts and make him a passer, that's certainly a possibility. You can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad to give him so much optimism, everybody. I don't know if I want to have that on the record too.
It's not like anybody takes us serious, and it's not like we're sitting here saying, "Yeah, they're going to win by 20 points."
Right.
How could we? We don't get to watch LSU practice. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I mean?
we've seen Florida State practice, and we have a fairly good idea.
But right, we don't know the litmus test, though, is like the other team they got to play. We don't know. They might be incredible, and we just haven't gotten to see it yet. I mean, so if we got to watch both teams practice every day, obviously we'd have a much better gauge of how this game's going to go.
Look at this guy. This guy's turned a corner in his life.
Don
Let's go, man. I love it. What? $50 from Don. Don been quiet for like 5 years. Now he's just throwing just uppercuts.
Trying to get pillar status in a hurry.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. For real. Thank you. We all thank you. Well, I shouldn't say we all. Aslan and I thank you quite a bit.
Well, a couple other people, but anyways.
Yeah.
I believe we have to beat LSU and win every game thereafter to get an invite to the playoffs. What do you think?
I don't think that.
No.
I think they have to beat LSU and then only lose one time, and they can get into the playoff. Especially if LSU has a decent season.
I think you can lose to LSU and win out. I mean, that's a really tough ask.
Yeah.
But that scenario, I think, I mean, I know that, well, you only beat Clemson, but it's like, hey, man, we won this conference. We hung tough with a really good team on a neutral site in week 1. And if this offense is as good as we think they're going to be, I think they would hit their stride enough that, the country would come around to having them in the playoff. Because, I mean, you lose a number 5 on a neutral site week 1.
Week 1 especially. Yeah.
So.
If you go and win, so that would be what, 12 wins in a row? Because you'd win the ACC champion. Yeah, man, this game is important because I think it gives you some wiggle room. If you lose this game, if you win this game, you have a wiggle room to lose again, I think. If you lose this game, you don't. You have to win out. But you could. And if you did, that's a good point, Aslan, because it's not like there's going to be a ton of 12-1 teams. You could make the argument you're the hottest team in the country. You could also make the argument that you lost game 1, and you've gotten so much better since then. So, yeah, there's a pathway there. But just beating LSU, I think, gets you a mulligan for later in the season if you need it.
Do you want to get really crazy? I mean, if there's mayhem, would it 11-2 Florida State make it into the playoff? If like the Gators somehow end up being ranked in the teens, maybe Miami's ranked when you play them somehow, or Pitt is. Like maybe you stack up some of those wins and you win your conference and you lost to LSU. You avenge your loss to Clemson on the road in the championship game. LSU turns out to be like the SEC West champion. Like if those are your 2 losses, but you beat a ranked Florida, you beat a ranked Pitt, and then you beat a ranked Clemson, and there'd be a lot of chaos. Like you don't control. I was going to say
it'd have to be like that 07 season, right? Yeah. Where everybody had 2 losses and you just had to, but there's never been a 2-loss team in the playoffs, right? We've been doing this for a decade now. I don't think anyway. And I don't think they would start with an ACC team that lost to an SEC team to start the season. It could happen, but they're certainly not going to go in over any 1-loss teams from the SEC or Big Ten, I don't think. So there'd have to be a lot of chaos, which there could be. It's college football, man. Everybody's going to be able to beat everybody here soon enough.
What's causing all of this? What? Ray Pereira's name is on the pillar. and he has a tomahawk. There's going to be a second one, I think, after we see him this weekend. I hope.
Oh, nice.
I hope.
His helmet's going to look like Charlie Ward's in '93. That's what his name's going to look like when it's all over.
Ray, thank you so much. Going to keep saying it, man. We're going to keep meaning it every single time we say it. Can't wait to hug you when I see you in Orlando, my friend.
Did we know his wife? And thank you very much, Ray. I can't wait to see you too. I'm going to recognize you this time and not just walk on by and say hello. I'm going to recognize you. But yeah, man, that's very, very kind. Thank you. Did we know his wife was an LSU?
Yeah, that's the whole beauty of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, there you go. That's nice. She better not be wearing that stuff in hooches. She better wear something neutral.
Yeah. By the way, Ray, let us know if there was like a domestic wager last year, and if there's one back this year with you and the missus. Be interested to hear about that. Anywho, most media outlets favor LSU. I've seen this. The people in our space, the podcasting space, Joel Klatt, others picking LSU. They're doing that. I need a vitamin to figure it out. My LSU wife and I will see you on Saturday. Go Noles. Is it, Corey, is it as simple as it was a blocked extra point last year?
Yeah.
LSU beat Alabama. Florida State struggled against, the last two games of the year. And it's, year two for Brian Kelly, and it's a week one for both. And that's it. And that's,
I think when you're LSU, you're in the SEC, you get the benefit of the doubt. You have a quarterback that started like 105 games in college. You have Brian Kelly, who's a good coach. I think that all comes together to just LSU deserves more benefit of the doubt or deserves more respect for recent seasons than Florida State. Is that fair? No. Does that have any bearing on the game at all? No. I also think because he played at Michigan State for a pretty bad team and a not good offense, people don't realize what Keon Coleman is. Like that, I don't know how else to say it. And do not text me. Well, you wouldn't text me. None of y'all have my phone number. Don't email me or tweet at me or X at me, whatever it's called now, if he only has 2 for 31 on Sunday night. Johnny Wilson didn't have a big game against LSU either. He was pretty good. We were right about that. I'm talking about last year. I'm telling you, this guy is one of the best receivers in the United States, and he's going to make this offense even more lethal than it was. And I just don't think people quite get that yet. But again, it's not like they're predicting Southern Miss to beat Florida State.
No.
LSU has some guys, man, and they hit the portal too, and their quarterback's good. He runs around a lot, and they've got their own first-round receiver, and they've got 2 tackles that are probably going to play in the NFL. So it's gonna be a really hard game. So it's not like I don't know, insulting, right, to say they're going to lose to LSU. It's weird to me. That line has always been strange. But other than that, I get why people would be on the LSU bandwagon.
Listen, if we did a podcast on Southern Cal football like the Trojans, I probably would pick LSU. If I did not watch Florida State
right
closely, like the way they finished out the season, and I did not see them practice every single day for 15 times in the spring, and then 23, and we probably got to see 18 or 19 of them so far. Yeah. I would probably that was a 1-point game. It was they blocked the extra point. LSU would have tied that game and won in overtime, and they got one more year wiser under a brand new coaching staff. I'm taking LSU. And I'm not trying to call these other people lazy, but man, they're not in Tallahassee watching all this. Yeah. And that's not knocking them at all. Just that's the reason why you're probably seeing so many people in the Florida State space picking Florida State, because this team is just, there's no way you'd think, Corey, right? Like if you did not see this, if you were living in Atlanta the entire time and you just spoke to Ira or I on the phone and we told you about how good and dominant they've looked. I know you're skeptical by nature, but you wouldn't believe it. I mean, you'd be like, I don't know, man. You guys are just probably hankering for a really good winning season just to feel good vibes. It's hard. It would be hard to believe you don't see this all the time.
Yeah, and you don't know what Braden Fisk is until you see him. You don't have an idea for what he's going to mean to this team this year. Or Fabian Lovett back being Fabian Lovett. Or Verse being
Coleman,
even better.
Yeah, man.
But Verse being even better than he was last year. If he's healthy, what that looks like. The secondary, I think, is going to be better. So, yeah, I get it. You have to see it. And LSU is a tough game, so it might not all manifest itself in game one. But by season's end, if they stay relatively healthy, you'll see how good this team is. And quite frankly, You're right. Having watched, we get to watch this team practice, and we get to see the competition at every level and how good they are at certain positions. I think if any other team in the country, if they were opening with, I would pick them to win, except for Georgia and Alabama. And even then, you know what I mean? Like I would pick them to beat any other team. Michigan, I know, is loaded, but I don't believe in that quarterback as much as I believe in Jordan Travis. So, and they don't have a coach. So for 4 games. So yeah, man, I think it's not that we don't think LSU is good or capable. I just think Florida State's looked good this preseason. I think they really bolstered their roster with some NFL dudes, and they're well coached, man, and they're going to be good this year. Hopefully, they put it together Sunday night.
I want to send by the way, thank you, Ray, again. Love you, big dog. I want to send a belated thank you to one of our subscribers over on the warchant.com tribal council. We recorded yesterday's show well in advance because we kind of anticipated there being no power in Tallahassee. We lucked out and dodged Idalia. Thoughts everybody out in Taylor County, man. Hope they're able to get things back on track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very soon. Ruthless Gaze, Corey. Ruthless Gaze said that Aslan, my son, who's 10 years old, and I listen to Wake Up on the way to school every day. Last night during our evening prayers, he asked God to protect your shed from the storm.
Oh,
hope all is well. So, shout out to Ruthless Gaze and his child. The shed is fine, everybody.
It made it. Good. No damage at all.
None. It was fantastic.
Hey,
and,
God answers prayers, my man. Well done. Thank you.
That's
very kind. That's awesome.
That's all. And then our guy War Eor said that he renewed his subscription because he thinks we're the best. He listens to Wake Up every single day, not embellishing. So, last 3 years. So we appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay Brown Fishing, who leaves nothing behind besides a $100 bill. Jay.
What's up, Jay Brown Fishing? Is that I can't see the avatar. Is that him obviously posing with a fish?
It's clearly a grouper. Clearly.
At night?
No, I'm kidding. It's I'm going to say bass just because that's what a guy that doesn't know about fish would guess probably.
It's not a marlin.
So I'm going to say
it's not a swordfish.
No.
But you don't see many people pose with their fish at night. I like that. It's a different change of pace. Also, Jay Brown, I hope you're weighing those things down so you can win the tournaments. Just put some weights in there.
Yeah, shove the gullet.
People love that. Fellow fishermen love that stuff. It's just gamesmanship. If they're going to let you do it, do it. But thank you very much, man. That's very, very kind.
Send a question or something or a comment. Let us know.
Tell us what that. I'm going to say I don't know anything about fish either. I'm going to say that's a 22-pounder that he's holding up. Is that too much?
I don't know if bass get that big.
All right. Well, then I'm in a 11-pounder.
I could be mistaken. So shout out to him. He just wants to say appreciate you. Go Noles, J. Trav, Heisman.
Okay. All right.
You can put money down on that over at mybookie.ag using the promo code WARCHANT. That'll get you an instant cash deposit bonus, give you a little more leverage out there on the sports book. You can also maybe put some money down on tonight's game between Florida and Utah. Although I don't know, Corey, I don't feel good about the Utes.
No, and one of my regrets coming back from Biloxi, because I made some sports bets and some future bets, not just games that night. I should have put some money on Florida on the money line. Utah always blows this game. They haven't beaten a non-conference Power 5 team since 2017. This feels like a game Florida's going to eke out like 13-10 or 17-13 or something.
So it's 6 points right now. This will be no longer relevant to you listening to the podcast version of the show, but the season is starting. Head over to mybookie.ag, get your plays in. Florida State still 2.5 points, the line between they and the Tigers. Sunday's game, Labor Day. So head to mybookie.ag. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Just use the promo code WARCHANT when you sign for the first time. That will get you an instant cash deposit bonus. Austin Flowers, what's the feeling of the safeties? One of the question marks this offseason. Now you don't hear much. Is it more because it's a hard position to gauge in practice, or are they just average?
I mean, it is pretty hard. They're going up against a quarterback that doesn't just throw it up for grabs a lot. When they do their work, it's usually good on good, and the quarterback on the other side is really good. It doesn't give them a lot of opportunities to go make interceptions. He usually puts the ball in a good spot and a safe spot. Also, I don't know if they're average, but they have not been stellar, I wouldn't say, this preseason. They haven't been impressive. But to that point, to Austin's point, it is kind of hard for safeties, just like linebackers. It's hard to be impressive in the way they run practices to our naked eyes. I'm sure when they go back and watch film, you can see what they did right, what they did wrong, and maybe they're playing exceptionally. But they're not making huge plays in 7-on-7. There's no tackling in 11-on-11. So it's hard to know exactly how well they're playing. I do know I've liked what I've seen from Shaheem about the last week and a half. Aslan just left the screen.
Let's go!
Shane's in the house. Whoa! Shane's back.
Play his theme song. What?
Big ball and smashing, making my ends.
Nice. I thought you were gonna play the Dion. Or is it Dion? I think is retired forever now. Must be the money. I think is off the boards.
Shane Kirkley. Kirk Knoll. Father to Zeus the Bulldog. Husband to
Michelle. Yeah.
499.99. Thank you.
Dinner. Hey, you know what, Shane?
By his name, anyways, right now, Corey. Should that just get you an automatic tomahawk, like getting an A on your algebra exam or something?
I mean, probably. If you want, sure. I don't. They're all your rules. Shane, dinner's on me tonight, buddy. Or tomorrow night. Well, yeah, tonight. Whatever it is. Landing in Orlando. Wow, that's nice. See, all the cool kids got to Orlando on Thursday because there's so much to do.
Yeah.
Everybody loves this city. It's like New Orleans for Florida. Sort of. Not really.
Just knocked all my vitamin energy over, too. Kind of crazy there. Sorry, everybody. We're just going to leave Shane's name up there for a while. But we're going to
go introduce yourself to Shane. You see what he looks like and what his wife looks like. If you're down here in Orlando and you see him at a tailgate or see him at Hooches or the block party, go introduce yourself.
Maybe ask him for a short-term loan, too, while you're at it.
Yeah, or just ask him what he's got in his wallet. Whatever he's got in his wallet will work.
Jonathan Carey says, with what you guys have seen of the offense, and thank you, Shane. Good, jeez.
Thank you very, very much. Very, very.
Is that a high score?
It might be, but we're not. Hey, we're not keeping score.
Anyway, we're not.
It's up there. That's very humbling and crazy. God bless.
Okay, Jonathan Carey. With what you guys have seen of this offense, are you confident if we have the last possession of the game that we win?
Well, unless it's 30-7. Yes, if they need to go down, let's say that it's 31-27 and they get the ball with a minute and a half left. You know why I'm confident, Aslan? Because I think in those moments, we haven't seen Jordan in that kind of moment a lot. I think his legs can win you the game. I don't think that's going to be something they count on. I don't even think that's something they're going to dial up much at all for the whole season. But I think when it gets to, genital cutting time late in the game, you're gonna that is an avenue that we have not seen at all this fall, because why would you? That I just think is that will be the great. That'll be the great unknown, is his legs. Think about the Syracuse drive from a couple years ago. Obviously, the Florida plays from last year. I just think when it comes down to that, you've got two special players out wide, and you've got a quarterback that can be almost impossible to tackle at times if he gets out of containment. So that's why I have that confidence in him.
I mean, we saw that in Doak the other night, right? That was
Well, they didn't. Yeah, they got down to the 3, but the defense rallied up. I also think if they get down, let's say they get down to the 6-yard line, or it's the 3-yard line, you have 9 seconds left. no timeouts. You've got 2 plays, so it's third down. You throw the first pass to 14 in the end zone. If he doesn't get it, you give 4 a shot on the next play. 4 is Keon Coleman. I know I forget you guys haven't gotten to see him play yet. You got 2 chances with just 2 special dudes you can throw it up to. Everything else being covered, everything else being equal, you got 2 chances that those guys can win you the game.
I have anxiety thinking about that. Like if you told Mike Norvell off the record, or just like between he and you, like, hey, if however you think this game is going to play out, either that's the option, or like, would you take the ball on their 3-yard line, down by 5,
1 play?
Yeah.
The thing is, they will jump all over Johnny's back. They will grab him by the neck and yank him down because you don't want to give up the touchdown, and they might not call it. And even if they do call it, they still have not scored. You've kept them from scoring. So they're going to be Johnny's going to have to fight through a lot of contact this year, which he did a good job of last year. Again, Johnny's been really good this camp and made a ton of really big plays. Thursday was not a good day for him, but get it all out of your system. He got it all out of his system on Thursday so he can shine on Sunday.
Let's hope. Let us hope.
Oh, geez. All right, Aslan.
I mean, listen.
Hey, I got you. I'm with you.
I'm riding with him.
Yeah.
I'm riding with. I'm fine. I don't want to trade him. I'm good. Unless Marvin Harrison Jr. wanted to come down to Tallahassee, but otherwise I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm holding on to Johnny Wilson. I'm riding with him.
He's going to make you shake your head a couple times this season, though, folks. It's just going to happen.
Startup talk. Who is our best guard? Do we think they can block top-tier defensive tackles?
I think Dimitri is the best guard. Man, it is crazy. So him and I think Roddick and him are both 2017 high school grads. I think that I know he is. I think Roddick is too. So the youngest they are is 24 years old. 23 to 24 years old. It's remarkable. They're both big, huge, grown men. I think Emmanuel is better. There was a play. I watched a couple of trench plays today. He did a really good job with Darrell Jackson, kind of stood him up and kept his place. Roddick stayed in front of Braden Fisk, but Braden Fisk moved him. I think Roddick's good. He's big. He's incredibly intelligent, which is a big deal on the offensive line to be smart, and he is. But I think Emmanuel's probably the best one.
I agree. According to the internet, Dimitri Emmanuel's birthday is February 1st, 1999, which makes him 24 years old.
Yeah.
6'2", 309.
It's cool to have an offensive lineman that's 24.
Yeah. Agreed. That's the correct answer.
And I think Roddick is either 23 or 24 too. Byers is probably 23. I mean, it is an old group.
Let's see what we got here. Trenton Smith, how many interceptions, if any, and who would be the players to make one? I guess maybe just for this game we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it'd be crazy if we just listed all the interceptions for the rest of the season. Maybe Fentrell. They're going to take some shots at Fentrell, and maybe Jaden underthrows a ball. Daniels underthrows a ball, and he makes a nice play on it and intercepts it.
On the flip side, Dupree Hundo says an FCS transfer going up against Keon and Johnny. Good luck, LOL.
Yeah, I think their other one is we'll see. Jared Verse was an FCS transfer, so there's some diamonds in the rough in that division. But here's the thing. Good luck to. I wouldn't care if it was an all SEC kid. Good luck to any of them. Mm-hmm. A good receiver is typically going to beat a good cornerback. It's just the receivers know where they're going. So it's always hard. You just want to make a few plays here and there if you're a corner. These guys are better than good receivers, and it doesn't sound like LSU's corners are anything special. So they're probably going to have a lot of safety help over the top, which should free up the running lanes and stuff in the middle of the field. We'll see if the Noles can take advantage of it. I feel like they can and will.
Yeah, Michael Austin adds, if not now, when? All the eggs are in the basket for us. FSU should feel confident. We are loaded. And if we match the physicality of LSU and Clemson, we will win. That's been a weakness of these previous teams. Well, I mean, the physicality and just the overall talent gap.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think Urban Meyer, I think, said the other day that he thinks Florida State's 1 year away.
No.
Which,
That's bizarre.
1 year
For
away
what?
from what? Like losing 10 guys at the NFL draft? Like that's what they're 1 year away from. I mean, you're hoping that they can perpetuate this and continue to get the best guys that are in the portal. But for sure, I mean, you give me like a 10-year window and we're in year 4 of this. I mean, I can't imagine there being like 2 better shots for Florida State than what they have this year. Like in the next 6 years, I can't imagine them putting together 2 more teams that are better than this one. At least what I perceive them as right now.
Again, well, I don't know about 10 years, but at least in the next year or two, I would think, because you don't know what you're going to have at quarterback. You have a pretty special quarterback right now, and those aren't a dime a dozen. You don't always get those. Ask Clemson the last couple of years. They don't just it's just not on automatic you get them. But I will say this, all the eggs are in the basket. I get it. FSU fans should feel confident. That's what Michael Austin said. But if they lose this game, the season opener to the number 5 team in the country, don't crack all the eggs. Like, this can still be a great season that can end with championships and trophies. I don't like the theory that if you lose this game, just know what this game is. It is a great show. It's a great stage, and it is a great opportunity. But if you don't win it, it doesn't mean the season is lost. 11 wins, 10 or 11 or 12 wins. I know Aslan wants 12. Is still a great season when you compare to the dumps that we were dealing with 2 or 3, 4 years ago. And that's what I think this team is. It just so happens what might be the most talented team on their schedule, probably not a might about it, honestly, is the first game on the schedule. And that can be a blessing and a curse. So you hope it's a blessing on Sunday and LSU's not. Because honestly, Florida State might be the best offense that LSU plays all year. You know, they got to do it in the first game. That's not easy for them either.
Agreed. Misspoke. I just meant kind of like when Mike Norvell looks back on his career at Florida State and like maybe like the first 10 years, I just think like he's had 3 under his belt already. This is year 4. I just think like between now and the next 6 years, I guess that would wrap up a decade with Mike Norvell. I can't imagine, like you said, like this extremely talented quarterback, these 2 physically anomalies almost at wide receiver, Jaheim, Fisk, Fabian, Farmer, Verse, Renardo, Azaria. Listen, Azaria's still going to be here. Dustin's still going to be here next year too. So, but yeah, man, this is a team that's built to win championships now. So, I'm all in on it. I think Dave Doherty might be all in on Vitamin Energy. He says, I got Vitamin Energy from the fan event at Corner Pocket. That would be the Jeff Cameron Show listener appreciation. That stuff is legit. I'm as energized as Norvell pregame speech. Let's go.
Amen, Dave. It works. It gets your juices flowing for sure.
Hopefully he got one of the ones that had the label on the side that had the promo code and the website. The website's vitaminenergy.com. The promo code is Warchant BOGO, BOGO, Warchant, BOGO. Buy one, get one free. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate the shout out, man. Thanks for coming out to the event. That was a fun one. Hopefully everybody got a T-shirt. Corey, Ray asked, can you mix Vitamin Energy and vodka?
I haven't tried it. I'm sure. Look, man, you can mix Vitamin Energy with anything. Mm-hmm. You can put it in eggs. We were just talking about eggs. You can put it on your steak. However you want to consume it, Ray. However you want to consume it, my man. In fact, we should probably buy Ray a steak or 2 for the flight home.
Probably. All right, let's see what else we got here.
When is the Florida game? When does that start?
8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. All right.
So.
And Nebraska plays Minnesota tonight, right?
I did not know that.
I think so. There's some actually maybe do the Canes play tonight too? That can't be right.
No.
I know they play Miami of Ohio,
but
I don't know if it's tonight.
Speaking of that listener appreciation party, I bumped into Tom Kirkpatrick at it. He's a real person. Maybe he could have identified the fish from our guy Jay Brown Fishing.
Yeah, there's a daytime picture posing with a fish.
Well, that looks like he's deep sea. I mean,
yeah.
I would not. You couldn't get me to go deep sea fishing, let alone at night. That's bad combo. Since you guys get to see the practices, tell me when you saw the office. I'm guessing the offense.
Yeah.
Suck 2 days in a row. I don't think it's ever happened, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't remember them. Yeah, they have not had a day that was as poorly, played out as today since, again, I think that NC State game, like since spring football started and the 22 previous practices, some which we weren't able to go because they were scrimmages and they maybe closed one to us this week. Yeah, man, they did not look this kind of, sloppy. That's the word that Mike Norvell used. I mean, he said it. It's fair. It's accurate. I'm not judging. Kind of am judging, I guess. But no, I kind of wish we could see the next day. But I feel supremely confident they're going to bounce back and have a good work day tomorrow and then have a nice walk through on Saturday before they head to Orlando. So I think it's just, Mike just trying to keep us on our toes a little bit, Corey,
Right.
All for the ratings.
That's right. Yeah. Puts a little bit of drama in this game. He knows it's going to be a blowout, but he still he tells them to, drop a few passes to make it look like it's going to be even.
Yeah. Somebody said Blackman just signed a contract. I thought he got cut.
Maybe as a practice squad guy.
I'll see if I can look it up. In the meantime, Startup Talks really, he's back with more offensive line questions. He asked who the best guard is. Now, who do you think? Who's the best offensive lineman they have? Robert Scott or Byers?
I would say Byers has to prove it to me a little bit more. I would say Scott or Emmanuel are your two good guys. Emmanuel, to me, kind of reminds me, he'll have that Dylan Gibbons role. Older dude, really physical, been around the block a bunch. I think he's going to be the stalwart of the offensive line.
I'm all in on Jeremiah Byers.
Yeah, all right, man. Old JB. I like that he doesn't take any gruff from Jared Verse.
No.
Like Verse got in his face after the blocked extra, I think it was Verse that blocked the field goal at practice. Fitzgerald made all the other ones, but Verse blocked one and let them know about it very quickly. And then Byers ended up like, yeah, man, just go away. Like, enough, that kind of thing. He kind of, as everybody does occasionally with Verse. And yeah, he did not like that. And I saw them when they were walking, because Byers is a pretty big personality too. He really is. He's probably the most talkative of those guys, I think. When they were walking out of practice 2 days ago, maybe, he was saying to Verse, like, man, when have I ever ducked you? Like, as they're walking past this with Norvell talking, he's like, man, when have I ever ducked you? Tell me a time I've ducked you in there. And Verse didn't say anything and just kept smiling, and they kept walking. So clearly the beginning of that conversation was Verse telling him he's always ducking them. They never go up against each other one-on-one. But Byers goes right back at him. And Byers has a lot of confidence. He's a big dude that can move pretty well, and he's got a big personality, which, again, not many of those guys do.
Type here says, Corey better come to Orlando. LMAO. He hate traveling.
I'm right here. I'm in Orlando. I do. I hate flying. Traveling I'm okay with because I could drive to Orlando. So, and by the way, saw a lot of devastation on I-10. I shouldn't say devastation. That's not the right word. Just a lot of trees down, like debris. Trees down everywhere on I-10. So be careful, gang, coming over.
Question from Sally Glover, who's in Australia.
Nice.
Australia. We'll be watching on TV, of course. Atmosphere last season was at a boiling point. Will Orlando and that stadium give the opportunity for a similar atmosphere?
Well, yeah, I think it would be that atmosphere last year was so cool because it was so literally like almost right down the middle 50-50. It was just a really cool atmosphere. This will be much more of a Florida State crowd, I think, than last year was for LSU. I don't expect it to be 50-50. So, yeah, I mean, I think Florida State should have an advantage, and people are really fired up for this team, and they're going to be loud. They're going to be, some will be inebriated. Everybody's going to be feeling good about things. And, I think it'll be a very loud, good crowd.
It don't stop, Corey. Climb it or whatever, man. What? James B. Pillar.
Yeah.
Name on pillar. Tomahawk next to name on pillar. Got another one of these waiting for you, big dog. I think I got 2 sheets. I hope I have 2 sheets. I don't have 2 sheets, but yeah, we'll have enough. We'll have enough for y'all.
Pretty soon we're gonna have to get them all their own helmets and really make that legit with their tomahawks.
James B. My gosh, $200 American. James, thank you. You're the man. You had a bone to pick with me about what I said the other day about Brian Kelly, like talking up his defensive lineman. Like, what do you expect him to say? I don't mean, just he said that he thought they looked outstanding, like specifically like Jordan Jefferson. He could have been like, I like what we have there at defensive line. We'll be able to compete, something like that. That's why I felt a little bit uneasy, but it's a fair point. He's probably talking to his guy up, trying to give them some added motivation. Yeah. He says, "What's up, gentlemen? I'm at a sports bar in Orlando right now, getting ready for some college football. Can't wait to see everybody go Noles."
There you go, James B. He's in O-Town too. People, hey, when you get a chance to come to Orlando, you're coming and you're getting here early. It's gonna be like it's like Dublin. This is the Dublin of Central Florida. So yeah, it's good to see some of the pillars already in town.
James B., how did I-10 look? Can you corroborate Corey's assessment of the conditions on the ground? Man, I can't trust some of the stuff that's popping up. I did not see the James Blackman news as being real. Our guy Derek Neal is usually pretty accurate. It says Keyshawn Helton was ruled out for the season.
Come on, man. Don't say that.
That's not true.
Don't say that. I'm going to look that up. I still got a couple guesses left on my immaculate grid. Let's see. It's not what I'm doing, though. I'll wait till after. Keyshawn Helton injury.
Yeah, we'll see. Anywho, while Corey finds that out, our guy out there in the Villages, Wesley Todd, a.k.a. West in the Villages, I asked this question on a prior show. What is your final opinion of the offensive output for the former unicorn known as Destin Hill in this game? CFL's at Hooch Go Noles. I think if I set it like at 33.5 yards from scrimmage, I don't know where Corey's at on 33, like 32.5. I'd take the over probably. But again, same point as Corey had about Keon. If Keon goes 2 for 31 or if Destin's limited to 1 for 8, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Those, especially Keon. But, I mean, Destin's got plenty of runway left ahead of him here in Tallahassee at Florida State, and he's just earned the respect of everybody in that locker room, everybody in that coach's room. So we've got faith that, he's worth the wait, and there's a reason why they hung around for so long. Stay tuned for the Warchant report. Our guy Matt Lasser spoke to Shea Dixon from the Bengal Tiger about this matchup of the game. We added into the Warchant report, and Shea, who's been covering LSU high school football forever, had some huge praise for Destin. So that'll help alleviate maybe any fears you might have. But he's going to be it. What do you think, Corey? 32.5 yards over under yards from scrimmage.
Over. I think he's going to hit a couple big plays. I think he's going to hit a couple first downers, maybe one that's 31 yards, another one that's 22 yards. But again, I know this is an exciting game. I know this is a very big game. I'm not just excited for this game. I'm excited for this season and to watch this offense for 12 weeks and to watch this team for 12 games. I'm genuinely fired up about the game, but I can't wait to see what Destin Hill looks like in Death Valley. And then I can't wait to see what he looks like in the Swamp. And then maybe in Charlotte. And then maybe Houston. He's going to grow so much by just playing more. And he's honed, man. He's polished for what you would think a true freshman would be. He is so much further along. I think he's going to have a very big year for a true freshman. Again, he's got to compete for balls with 2 really good guys.
Let's go! What are we doing? What is going on? What?
Dollar bills, y'all.
Joe D in the house.
Corey, what just happened?
For people listening to the podcast that are like, what is going on? All I hear is some rattling around. Joel Davis, the great Joel Davis, just I guess he tied the high score with 499.99. Very, very, very kind. Way too kind. What are y'all doing? Kind of kind. But God bless him. God bless his family. And that is an all-time great message he sent out too. Thank you very much, Joel. You should read the message, Aslan. Play the Dion music for him. He deserves it.
Ladies of Orlando, hide your dogs. Aslan's in town. That's rude, Joel. That's rude.
Yeah, hey, it goes back
accurate.
to last year at this time. Was this this is probably the anniversary of that infamous death? Right? It's got to be. It's like almost the anniversary day of when that dog passed away.
Joel, dude. He too, a pillar. Actually, Joel's a pillar, but I don't know if Joel's ever got his name on here.
Oh, well, we know it's time for that.
So we know the first order of business is on Saturday.
Yeah. Is
to locate Joel and let him put his name on this thing. And I'm going to give him a tomahawk. Incredible. Joel's the man. He's also doing much more than what you see on the screen for your favorite football team, everybody. So tip your cap to that guy if you see him out. He's the man. Don Rurick is getting crazy. Come on. He just threw $50 more at us.
Don's out of control. Y'all are all out of control. But Don, thank you very much, buddy. And thank you again, Joel Davis. That's too kind. I'm looking up. Who would be the officials? Is it a neutral crew? Is it be like the Big 12?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I don't even know how to find that out. Let us not worry about the ACC trying to do something to hurt us. But Don's the man. Throws $50 in the jar. Here is to dragging that purple tiger by the tail up and down the field on Sunday night. Question: who will be officiating? Will LSU be wearing purple? That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like, man, they always just wear white on yellow. But I guess if we're wearing garnet and gold, maybe they'll wear. I don't know. Do they wear white on purple pants? I don't know the wardrobe choices of LSU. I have to plead ignorance. Able to find officiating?
And I don't know. No. I would assume again it's got to be another conference. I would assume Big 12 or Big 10. But I can't find it in this article I'm reading. And I can't remember who it was last year. And we won't know for sure who they are, like who the actual has gotten the job. Typically, it'll be on like the pregame sheet in the press box a few hours before the game. We'll know like exactly who the head official is and what crew it is.
Thank you, Don. Shout out to Joey and his fitness journey.
Yeah, amen, Joey.
Dollar bills, y'all.
A super sticker. I don't even know what it looks like because I don't get to see it on our side. Let us know, everybody. He's got a Dodge Charger for the avatar.
All right.
Waterfront. Nice. Solid. Man, I'm spent. Optimus Climb says, no, it can't be SEC officials.
Unless it was ACC last year in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I tried to look up last year's officials, and I couldn't.
Jeremy Marsh says last year was Pac-12 officiating.
Oh, okay.
That sounds familiar.
Okay.
But now somebody's saying Big 12. So now we got two Big 12s. We got West and then we got.
Do I hear a Big 10? Do I hear an AAC in there? How about the NFL? What are they doing for another week? Let them come down and referee.
There's one question. I don't know where it went. I wanted to get to it on here. It'll be the last one.
I was going to say, Orlando's waiting to be explored, Aslan.
I got you. Maybe I can't.
A tiger in a cage right now.
Yeah, that's good. A little like a quasi matchup question from Mike Machado on our way out here. I'm hearing you guys have a lot of confidence. Why do you think the Florida State defensive line can handle the LSU offensive line?
I mean, I think they did for the most part last year. And
that was a completely different five guys, Corey.
Well, it's still, I mean, the tackle's older. They've gotten older, but it's still three of them are the same, right? But the point being, Fabian, they didn't have Braden Fisk last year. They didn't have Patrick Payton for that game at all. And, they had Jared Verse and Fabian Lovett. And they still have those two guys. Those two guys presumably should be better. And then you've also added Fisk, Farmer, and Patrick Payton. And I just think, look, I think LSU O-line's good. I think they're it's not going to be like a 90s Florida State Wake Forest game. It's not going to just be the hounds of hell unleashed on every play. But I do think that Florida State's defensive line will be very good against every offensive line it goes against.
Patrick
and
Payne
LSU lost their running back, right? He's out for the game.
Well, the Emery got passed up, man.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, I saw that he had like 6 touchdowns last year and like 500 total yards.
Yeah. Patrick Payne played 7 snaps against LSU last year. So
yeah, and Braden Fisk played 0.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to handle the LSU offensive line, but I think a lot of LSU fans have very high expectations for their offensive line. They think they could be an elite unit. I think Florida State's defensive line will be up to that challenge to not allow LSU to handle them. Just seeing the way that Florida State's defensive line has gone up against Florida State's offensive line in these preseason practices, there's some times where, Jared Versus whips guys. There are days where Fabian Lovett snatches men's souls and leaves them hollow for a temporary period of time. But then there's times where Fabian gets stuck up, man. He gets jammed up. He can't win his rep, man. The guy gets better hand on him. There's times where Jared doesn't get to the quarterback every single time. And so, what they're capable of. And the fact that you see the Florida State offensive line able to hold their own and just the tempo that they're able to perform at, not necessarily like running fast, like Lane Kiffin hyperspeed stuff, but just like their sort of just their rhythm, man, the way this offense operates, like they get into modes where, man, they just can get things off and catch the defensive line off guard. And even when they don't, they just line up and play it straight up. They have enough girth, they have enough age, talent, experience to slow even Jared Verse down. So if they can slow Jared Verse down, I think they'll be able to slow down Savion Jones, or I don't know if his last name is Savion Jones or not.
Well, yeah, but you're doing the opposite of the question. It was D-line versus the LSU O-line. You were doing why the FSU O-line should be confident.
Well,
it worked. I like your answer. You know what? We're politicians. We answer the questions we want to answer, not the questions you ask.
All right. Joey's back with more doll hair, so let's go ahead and play him his theme song.
Dollar bills, y'all.
You guys, I appreciate y'all just always talking gym. I'm down 95 pounds since April. You keep up the good work, man.
95. Be healthy. That's a lot. That's 95 pounds in 5 months. But that's awesome. That's great. Just be healthy about it. But yeah, man, that's incredible. Good job, Joey. Keep it up, man.
Nobody's concerned about play calling, says Andrew Williams-Watson. No. All right, that's a wrap for us. Thanks for being here, everybody. If you could hit the thumbs up on the way out, that would be so awesome. I mean that sincerely. I know that maybe sounded sarcastic, but it didn't. Please hit the thumbs up. Yeah. That would be incredible to help push this video out and let everybody know that we're out here doing the Lord's work, talking Florida State football for you folks. I love doing it. Be on the lookout for the Warchant Report, which is now powered by Cummins, our new title sponsor. So the show's going to be great. A little more production value to it. You'll enjoy it. We have a really deep dive sort of analysis, courtesy of Shea Dixon, over at the Bengal Tiger. Corey's got observations from practice earlier up on the website. Check that out. We'll have a matchup analysis up on the website.
Tom did a deep dive into Jaden Daniels, third and Lang. So he's got a lot of information on how to try to defend Jaden Daniels. It's all there on the site for you guys. Ira and I are going to be writing columns the next couple of days, keeping everything ready to go, everything fresh for the opener.
And if you've never subscribed to warchant.com before,
you're an idiot. Is that how are you going to finish this sentence?
Yeah. No, I think about it. Yeah. No. But join now for 50% off for an entire year. So if you've never been a subscriber, I think as long as we've been on the On3 network, come on, man. Like this is it. Like I can say this is the best one we're going to have the rest of the year. Maybe something, I don't know. Maybe something happens crazy over Christmas, but man, 25% was awesome the other month. Like 50%, that's probably about as far as we'll meet you halfway on these sort of things. So go subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you to Joey. Thank you to Don, Joel, Effin Davis, James, Effin B, Shane,
Effin
Berkeley, Jay Brown, Fishing, Ray Effin Pereira.
Yeah.
Don dropped 2 bags, 904 Noel, Kendrick Hopkins. We appreciate the heck out of all y'all. Thanks for tuning in all off season long, all preseason long, all spring long. We're ready now to play a football game. Come out to Orlando. We'll be hanging out at Hooch, 4 to 5, 5 to 6 live headlines. That's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thank you so much for watching and participating in Wake Up Warchant live, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Vitamin Energy. Have a great one, everybody. Go Utes.